Ba-dum. What's happening, y'all? Welcome to ThumbstopLive, your creative strategy daily show from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is presented by Motion. We love to put these events on and these live streams on to bring the best, brightest, and most intelligent minds in our game to the stage. Everybody, if you are interested in tapping in with us, you'll want to tap in. What I will say is go ahead and check us out on X, Twitter, or whatever you want to call it. But what you can go ahead and do here is you can check us out at ThumbstopLive, at ThumbstopLive. So here is where you're going to be able to see all of the recordings. You're going to be notified about when we are starting to go live on the different streams and days, well, Monday to Friday. And you're going to see a bunch of clips. So some of the hot takes, some of the best posts, some of the most relevant content clipped up so you can forward it to your team so you can have those bite-sized learnings nice and easy along the way. Okay, folks? Fantastic. Today is an exciting show day. I'm excited for the people that we have on. We have a couple folks. I'm just gonna make sure that our technical experience is set up correctly here. But we have a couple folks that I deeply respect who are going to be joining us. We're going to have Romain, who's joining us from ArcAds, so all about the AI avatars and AI creatives. And then a little bit later in the show, we're going to have Taylor from Headline, who's going to join us. One of our lead investors, been working with Taylor for a really long time. She can shed some light just on the industry, the role of VC in this new world, and what she's seeing. Fantastic, y'all. Let me give Romain a shout, make sure he's all good. Sweet. So we'll get him in. So I think the really cool thing is if I pull up a couple links for us to look at while we wait for Romain to join, is for those who don't know him, absolutely crushing on so many different levels. So if I go ahead and share my screen again with you all, the first place that I think you'll want to check him out is definitely on Twitter. And he is helping brands freaking print. So there's so many different companies out there that are leveraging AI avatars that are printing freaking cash on cash on cash. And today what he's going to walk through is some of his journey, of course, but more importantly, he's going to get into how you can actually build out the AI creative using ArcAds, the platform that he's championing and the platform that he's building. So on the ArcAds side of things, if everybody wants to check him out here, he's able to generate so many different elements, and it's literally going to get into the back end of how this stuff comes to life. But I know the team over there is working so freaking hard at refining these models to be able to make sure that the avatars you're seeing are actually the best of the best. So he is in a very unique position where he's AI native from the jump. The team is so small, but again, helping different brands freaking print money on money on money. So by the end of this episode, I'm sure what we'll be able to learn are things along just of Romain's background, how he's created a team that is so lean and mean in a game where these teams typically get bloated. And then we want to get into the fun stuff, which is literally just going ahead and building out these creatives and what that can look like in your world. All right, everybody. I know I'm pumped. About this. I hope you all are too. But without further ado, I'd love to welcome the man, the myth, the legend to the stage. Join me up here. So let's bring him up and give him a warm welcome. Okay, everybody?
Hey, Evan.
Hey. What's up, man? How's it going?
Going well. How are you doing?
I cannot complain. I'm so pumped for you to be here. I feel like everyone's just going to learn so much today. And basically, you're just going to help them make a ton of money along the way, you know?
Let's do that.
I love it. So I was giving everyone a little bit of a preface and just hey, we're going to start building out these creatives and that's what they want to see. But I did want to do some stage setting. I think it's important, and your journey is super impressive. The company you've built is super impressive. And I'd love for you to share some of that wisdom along the way. So if you're down, if you'd like, you just kick us off nice and easy with a quick tell us about yourself, what you've been up to and what you're well known for, and we'll take it from there.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having me. So I'm Romain. I'm the co-founder of Arcads. We help marketing teams create winning ads using AI. And before creating Arcads with the same co-founder, Dylan Fournier, we were working on a mobile app studio. I hope there are a lot of my mobile apps friends in the audience. And what we're doing is like basically creating and promoting mobile apps in the wellness category. And as you can imagine, when you are promoting a mobile app, half of your success comes from testing and iterating heavily on creatives. So that's how we got the idea for our cat. We were spending so much time creating ads. And when we saw AI coming, we realized, okay, AI is going to completely transform the way people create marketing videos. And this is a much bigger opportunity. So we decided to sell the company and focus on this idea of helping other teams creating ads with AI.
Isn't it so funny how like the side project becomes the real project? And it's just like, oh damn, like this is where it's at. This is what we need to be doing.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Those are the best ideas.
100%. And then in your world now, like how would you describe the problem you're solving in a little bit more detail and who specifically you're solving it for?
So we are helping performance marketers. So I think the same audience as yours. And the main pain point performance marketers have is to get results, they need a lot of creative, so creative volume, and they need a lot of diversity in the creative that they are creating. We make it so much easier for them to produce creatives using AI.
I love it. And then Romain, I mentioned this in the intro for you. I'm not sure if you were around for that one, but just like creating such a lean and mean team, like in the world of AI, you're able to create such lean and mean teams that allow you to scale. So I've actually pulled up one of your tweets where you're describing the situation that you're in. So I'm just going to pull it up for the audience to be able to see exactly what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
So this one is going back to April, but hit 5 M's on the ARR side with 5 employees and still on track to absolutely crush. How the heck do you bring this to reality?
Yeah, actually now we are closer to 7, almost 8.
Okay.
So basically 1 million per employee. We now have 7, 8 people in the team. And really the reasons why this is possible now is first, with AI, product adoption is super fast. So you can go from 0 to these kind of numbers super quickly. And the second reason is you can also integrate AI in your operations to run the company in a much more lean way by taking every single aspect of the business. So think customer support, sales, um, your own marketing strategy, and in every single aspect of the business, always think AI first and try to identify automations and agents you could build to make the business more efficient.
I love that. And then in this thread, I feel like you got into those details. You're like, hey, I have an AI growth engineer. I have a ghostwriter for X and all these different ones. Did you start out knowing exactly which agents you wanted to build out? Or was it just like, hey, the need arose. All right, instead of hiring someone, let me put my head down and build out how AI can help out?
Mhm. No, you never know in advance. It's just a mindset shift. Before, when you were trying to accomplish something before AI, the initial thought was, I'm going to hire someone to do it. But now, in the age of AI, you can just say, I'm going to try to make it more automated through AI. And yeah, the most obvious one was customer support. We had so much questions on the chat every day. You know, when you are logged in into the platform, you will see the intercom bubble chat in the bottom of the screen. And a lot of these questions are very repetitive. People tend to ask the same questions. How do I do this? How do I do that? And that's the perfect use case for AI, because when you end up like doing the same thing twice, 3 times, 4 times, that's the real signal that there is an opportunity for creating an automation, an agent, call it how you want, but to automate the process. So we still have a person handling customer support, but they probably handle 10% of the questions we get. 90% of them are basically handled by AI. But I would say, to answer your question, like the main trigger for us to automate something and to hire an AI to do it is when we really fully understand the process of what needs to be done, and that we do the same thing multiple times.
That makes so much sense. And I've been asking guests this question of like, hey, imagine you have your younger self and you could talk to your younger self. But the thing about like what I find fascinating about you and the younger generation of other people who are building now is like everyone is AI native. Like you start thinking about it this way. So I actually want to talk to some more of the dinosaurs in the world who have built these large companies and are trying to think about how they can become AI native. What advice would you offer them? Are they just screwed, or are there things they can do in their day to day to start thinking in an AI native way?
That's a great question. I think the good news about AI is everyone can understand it very easily because you can just basically talk to ChatGPT and ask it to do something. I think, yeah, my mom is using ChatGPT. She's not even like
Shout out
internet.
to mom. Shout out to mom.
Shout out to moms. Uh, and she's not even like internet native. Like she doesn't really use much her smartphone. But for ChatGPT, the adoption was super quick because it's all about like asking questions and like talking in the exact same way you will talk to a human. So I would say it will start by that. Like every single time you have a repetitive task that you end up doing multiple times in a row, ask ChatGPT to do it, and then you can go obviously more in depth and you can create workflows, and that might take a little bit more time to ingest these kind of workflows. But yeah, everyone can at least start implementing AI by doing the simplest automations.
I love it. So when you have you like replaced Google just with like ChatGPT and like that's where your searching happens?
I would say, yeah, 90% of the times Google helps me. Google, like, I've replaced so many things, but yeah, I've definitely replaced like 90 or 80% of the searches by ChatGPT. I also, in lots of cases, replaced chatting with a customer support by chatting with ChatGPT. When I'm trying to do something specific in a new software and I can't find the right place to do it in the platform, I will default to taking a screenshot, sending the screenshot to ChatGPT and asking where is the button to do this or how can I do that. And I definitely do that at least 5 times a day.
I love it, man. That's incredible. That's incredible. Another thing that I wanted to tap into again before we start building these ads out is just for the audience who's tuning in. Like you've built a very impressive personal brand at this point. Was that intentional? And you knew that'd be beneficial, or what was your approach to it?
100%. I had, like, when we started Arcade, I had 0 followers on Twitter, maybe like 50 followers. I was just using Twitter, LinkedIn to consume content. But being in B2C, it didn't really make sense before creating Arcade for me to create content because your audience is basically the mass market, and these people in your audience don't necessarily follow you or follow people, they follow brands. Or I wouldn't, like, basically we are creating wellness app. I'm definitely not a fitness influencer. So it didn't really make sense for me to create content. But then when we started creating Arcades, I figured, okay, personally, as a growth marketer, I spend a lot of time studying other growth marketers and reading their content because you are always looking for the new tactic, the new strategy to grow your product. And I figured, okay, now we are targeting performance marketer. The people who are going to use our ads are going to be performance marketers. So it makes a ton of sense for me to kind of share my learnings. And I had some basic learnings that I built creating this like mobile app studio and growing a mobile app to over $1 million in revenue before creating Arcade. So I felt that I had some legitimacy to create content on like how to grow an app, how to grow a consumer product, how to run paid marketing. And I was also learning so much stuff about like using AI for this specific purpose. So I was consuming a lot of content and like thinking a lot about how to create ads and how to do marketing using AI. And I figured a lot of people are interested in this topic. So how to create ads using AI, how to automate workflows, the thing we are discussing right now, all of these stuff that I'm personally passionate about. A lot of people are caring about that. So I'm going to start like documenting the process, and people are going to engage with my content and hopefully end up trying arcades and maybe asking me questions about how to use arcades in the best possible way. And yeah, that was basically my logic for creating content, and I think it turned out very well because it became a major acquisition channel for us.
Yeah, man. There's no downside of building the personal brand out. Unless you're becoming like an A-list celebrity, then you can't go outside. But in our world, there's no downside to it. I feel like only up. So
Exactly.
that's incredible.
Yeah, I think the threshold is like very, very to being like a celebrity and to having the cons of being famous are very, very far right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I got recognized once in San Francisco in a cafe. It was really, really nice, but only happens once so far.
That's so funny. How did you feel when that person came up? Like, yo, Arcade's guy.
It was actually funny because I got recognized twice in the same coffee. So it was definitely a startup vibe coffee. It was in San Francisco, and yeah, a friend who was following me on Twitter, but who was also a friend, saw me, so he recognized me. But we never had met in real life. And then a second person like just recognized me. It was like very funny. So yeah, it felt really funny, and
I love that.
definitely shows that San Francisco is still the place where people are doing things.
100%. Oh man. Okay, this is some really great context. I have some more questions, but I want to get into the meat and potatoes here. So I'm wondering if you can just share your screen and like talk people through how they can start building out creatives that are just going to start printing for them.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it, and we'll have a lot of things to talk about. So I'll try to be concise. Feel free to stop me if you want to skip something, or if you have questions or something you want to elaborate on.
Cool.
Super happy to do that. So yeah, the main part of the screen is this text box right here where you can input your script, and everything starts from the script in most cases in Arcade. So first, the user will come to the platform, write a script of what you want to say in your ad. So for this example, let's do an ad for Duolingo, the language learning app. So I wrote this script right here, and then we have this library of now over 1,000 AI actors that you can browse and pick from. We have filters that you can use right here just to select the perfect AI actor for your needs. Maybe you want a younger one, older one, maybe female. You can play with like the situation they are in. I don't know, maybe you want them to be in a studio setup to do some like more nicer professional stuff, or maybe you want them to be in the street for like, you know, a street interview style video where they are being asked a question while walking outside. So you'll usually find all the common UGC filters that you would find on a UGC platform for real UGC creators. But the only difference is now it will cost you obviously much less to generate the video, and it will be much faster for you to get the video ready. So you can play with those filters and select one or multiple actors. And that's also one of the beauty of AI. You can just select multiple ones and test the same ID, the same script with 5, 10, 20 different people and see which one brings the best results. So let's say you select this one, you will then be able to play with the voice parameters to just listen to the voice to make sure that you like the way it sounds, the speed of the voice, the stability, and make sure that you really like the outcome. You can even change the accent of the voice if you want to use a different accent to target English-speaking people, but with, I don't know, a Latin accent in America. You can do that. You can also connect your 11 Labs account if you already use 11 Labs text-to-speech platform where you can create high-quality audios and create your own custom voices. So if you have voices that you like, you can just like connect them and have the actor talk with the voice that you have previously created in 11 Labs. And then you can click generate. It will take a couple of minutes, 1 to 2 minutes to generate the video. And you will get a video with the script that you have selected, with the actors that you have selected, that look like this.
True fact. Most people never stick with learning a new language. Why? Learning a language is boring. Duolingo makes it 10 times more exciting. Try Duolingo today.
So this is like the main feature people have been using for arcades, and that's the one that people discovered initially. But we have built a ton of other new, very exciting features since. The first one is like sometimes people didn't really find the perfect avatar in the library of AI actors. So what they can do now is basically they can create their own actor. And what this will do is it will give you two options. Either you can basically type a prompt and create your perfect AI actor from a prompt. So I don't know, let's say we want 35 years old female influencer. And you can be obviously much more precise than that. You can add as many details as you want. You can select what they are wearing, the haircut they have, the hair color, the eyes color, the situation they are in, the type of energy he or she has. You can also import images. So if you have a physical product, let's say you have a Nikon brand and you are selling some physical product, you can include that in the prompt and add a reference image of your product and say a 25 years old influencer, but showing my product. And then, yeah, we got like those three very realistic looking influencers generated right here, just images so far. But let's say this is your favorite one. You can either iterate on the actor and make some changes, like adjust the lighting, the colors, everything, and it will keep the consistency of this person. It will still be this person, but you can like keep prompting to get the perfect version. And then once you like the image, you can turn it into a talking actor and then basically select a voice and just like launch a training to be able to use this person as an avatar in the exact same way you would use the other avatars that we already have in our library, but this one will be unique to you. It will basically be your custom avatar. You can also use an existing image if you like to generate images somewhere else, or if you just want to use your own face or someone with who you have a contract. Like let's say you have a UGC creator that is working very well for you and they basically allow you to create their custom avatar. You can also do that and generate their avatar in arcades.
Insane.
And that's what I did right here. I think this avatar was like AI generated from a prompt. So they look very realistic as well. And they are just much more custom. So this is the main feature, talking actors, but we can also do gestures. Sometimes you will want your actor to do something, but not necessarily say something. Let's say you want them to be celebrating or you want them to be typing on a computer or whatever you have in your mind. You can also do that by just prompting, like he is celebrating and smiling. And then you can select an actor. Let's say you select this one, click generate. It's going to take a couple of seconds and it will get a video like this where the actor is actually doing the movement that you added. So gestures is a very cool feature for like making like more complex videos where you combine people talking at the beginning of the video, but then B-roll where they are doing some specific actions. But yeah, we also recently released a new feature where you can like actually generate videos without anyone in the video, and that's B-rolls and scenes. We can go into the details and the differences between these two, but basically this will allow you to generate videos directly from a prompt. Talking actors is from a script, so you will write what you want the person to say. B-roll is from a prompt. You describe the scene that you want to have and how it looks like. And I made these cool videos of where you can basically, the prompt was super simple. A box using Legos branding style, sitting inside of a kid's room, and the box automatically expands like a balloon. And then you can even extend the video. So let's say you like this video, it's only like a couple of seconds, but you want a like 20-30 second video, you can just click extend. You will have like this button right here, and where you can select the frame from which you want to extend the video. And then you can like basically generate what happens after this part of the video in a second video. And for example, here I took this video, I prompted a kid is entering the room and playing with Lego.
Oh my gosh.
And then I wanted to have a second kid again enter the room and play with the first kid. So I did the extend thing again, I extended again, and I added a second kid to enter the room. And then you can basically combine those 3 videos together, and you get like one full like 20-30 second video where what you prompt will be happening, and you can like do a full commercial using AI. So I'm going to pause here for a second because I know I gave a lot of info and talked about a lot of things, but yeah, super happy to answer any question or to go.
That's insane, man. I want to start at the high level, then move to some of these granular examples that you had shown.
Hey,
So I have a bunch of different conversations with people who are along different stages of their journey with like AI adoption. And one of
Yeah.
the reasons why ChatGPT has been so successful is like you can just talk to it, like you were saying, in natural language, and it's all good. In your world, how important is the prompt in this case to making sure that the avatar, the B-roll is incredible?
Yeah, great question. So actually, our way of building our CAD so far was to make it as easy as possible for users to get good quality outcome without thinking too much about the prompt. So we have some prompt enhancement in the background that will take your prompt and make it more suitable to achieve the results that you had in mind. So basically, like as you can see, this prompt was quite simple. It probably took me a couple of seconds to think about it, but the result was very good. And yeah, in the backend, we'll do a lot of the heavy lifting to make sure that the final result will be good. But that being said, if you want to go more in detail and like you have a very specific idea of what you want to build, there are some techniques that you can use to come up with better prompts. And I think my favorite technique will be to take a screenshot of a video that you really like, send this screenshot to ChatGPT, and ask ChatGPT to describe the screenshot. And ChatGPT will give you a very good description of like the image that you gave it. And you can then use that as a prompt to create your own actor. That's how I created this one.
I saw you checked out our 90-day program, but for whatever reason, you didn't end up pulling the trigger, and that's totally fine. But I will say,
so this one, I created it from the Facebook ad library of the page that I was looking at. And I really like the way the person looked in the ad. But obviously, I wouldn't want to use this person as my avatar because I didn't have any rights to use them. But I wanted to create someone who looked like this person, who had the same kind of clothing style, the same kind of room, was in the same kind of room. So basically, I asked ChatGPT to describe, and they gave me this very precise description that I then used to create this unique avatar that is fully generated with AI. And I think that's a very, very efficient way to come up with prompts.
I love that. I freaking love that. It's just like summarize it for me so we can throw it in there. Do you have a similar approach? Because you started off with scripting. Do you have a similar approach with scripting?
Yeah, great question. I exactly have the exact same approach for scripting. So you mentioned AI agents and automations that we built internally at the beginning of the session. One of the most useful AI agents and automations that we have internally is the one that we use for creating our own ads, because as a business, our ads needs to be promoted, and we run Facebook ads with AI generated ads just to promote our ads and to get the word out there. And to get ideas for these ads, instead of spending a lot of time like doing the research and coming up with ideas and like brainstorming, we tried to make this as systematic as possible. And I think you guys released agents recently in Motion, and that's exactly the kind of like workflow that lets you do that. So basically, I asked this agent to scroll a bunch of ads libraries. So those are mainly ads from either competitors or brands that I think are very good at writing very good scripts. It doesn't even need to be competitors, just brands where I liked the writing style. And what I will do is like automatically download the ads from these competitors from the Facebook ad library. So take those videos and get the transcript of these videos. So basically get the written part of what they say, and send that to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT with a custom prompt this is a script that is very good. You know what Arcad is about, or here is a quick description of what Arcad is about. Write a script to promote Arcad that follows the exact same writing style of this video transcript that I just sent you. And then I will get this video transcript, and I can then automatically add that to Arcad's API and generate a video that looks very similar in terms of like the scripting, but that is about Arcad, and that I can then just watch and make sure that I really like the way it sounds and looks, or edit. And then it like saves so much time in the ideation process. And also the good thing about that is it takes IDs that have already been validating by other humans, because they have like posted the IDs on their ad account. And yeah, that's a very powerful way to come up with IDs.
That is insane. I love how you spelled it out for everybody, literally step by step, but I don't actually know how many people will go and do it. Like, you're just giving the free game, but it's like, oh, damn, like, I don't know where to start. But I feel like this is a really great blueprint, man. Absolutely crushing it. Absolutely.
Yeah. So obviously, I don't know how technical the audience is. Like, one way to do that would be to use the motion agents. If people have started like playing with them, pretty much everything I described is doable through motion agents. Another way is we have built, basically because this is so technical and that we understood like that people don't necessarily want to set up every single steps, we made this a tool. So basically all you have to do is in the tool is like put your website, put the list of the Facebook ads libraries that you want to scrape, and automatically this tool will do all the things I mentioned for you in the backend. So I can also send you the link to this tool if you like. But that's we made this kind of simple for people who don't want to create the workflow in Motion or other AI automation tools.
I love it. Something I'm so curious about is, like you mentioned there, something to scrape through Facebook ad library, but also for the actual AI actor or avatar build outs. Did these start out as internal tools for your team first and foremost? And you're like, oh, people would love this thing. Like, let me get it out there.
Yeah, I think that's always how we came up with ideas, because building a business is about having this one good idea at the beginning, but then you have to get new ideas, new features, new improvements to the product. And that's always what we have been doing, like taking the things that we either have struggled with internally or that we already have built internally and making them public. Because if we had the need internally for such a solution, probably people will have the same need. That's how we got the idea for Arcads, honestly. We were to promote our own apps, starting to use AI to create our ads, right? And we thought, okay, if we use AI to create ads, probably other people do, and probably more and more people will do. So let's build a tool to make that easier.
That's so good. That's so good. And I think like what I'm thinking about now is the audience has heard me and you talk about people printing with AI ads. So if I'm a brand, we've talked feature for feature of like what people can actually and how they create, essentially, like what they create and how they create it. When brands jump in, is there any additional sauce that they're doing to then make it fly? So it's like, are they adding music on top, and does that happen in here? Are they launching ads from Arcads, or what are you seeing?
Yeah, so we really focus on the generation part for now. So really making an ad is basically three main steps. Coming up with an idea. So we made that easier a little bit with AI agents, workflow that I mentioned. Then once you have an idea, generating the idea, that's Arcads, and that's the big focus of Arcads, helping you generating the idea. And then once you have generated the idea, you need to edit it and improve it. Like, let's say I generate this video right here.
True fact.
Like, an ad for
Most people
Duolingo.
never stick with learning a new.
In most cases, I will add some screenshots of Duolingo. I will show the product in the background. I will maybe add some subtitles, some nice visual effects. And this is done outside of Arcads. People use tools like Canva, Submagic, also CapCut, or more advanced tools like DaVinci or Adobe Premiere to do those edits. But yeah, in most cases, except from some very rare exceptions, people will actually combine the AI generated video with actual footages of their product and screen shares. And this is done outside of Arcade, like in those video editing softwares.
From a company like ours to a company like yours, I sincerely appreciate the focus. Like if you're trying to do too much, it's like, how much can you really do? But then the process that you've gone and like really isolated down to the problem has made sure that you can be elite at this specific thing. So greatly appreciated, my friend. Greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I think that's especially being a small team, that's very important.
For sure. Now, one of the things that I am curious about is like AI, and especially avatars like this, can be seen as controversial. I don't know if you've heard it or if you want to go down this route with me, tell me if not. But I'm
No,
curious. Yeah. So basically, like I'm curious about like what your opinion is to the potential naysayers or skeptics who might not be as bought into the idea of testing AI avatars.
Yeah, and I'm curious, like, what did you have in mind when you think about controversy specifically? Did you have like some specific?
There's two parts to it.
Stories?
So it's like the brands themselves. There's like a brand reputation piece that comes up. It's like, are we human? Like, are we speaking in a human way? And then the other piece of it is like the creators themselves. So the content creators are just like, like, is this? There's some fear, obviously, like my job, right? That starts to kick in. Do you have any opinions on
Yeah,
those markets?
I do have opinions on both. So for the brand side, like this, I never really understood this idea that AI generated ads might be less authentic than traditional ads, because traditional ads, you would pay an actor to say something, right? Yeah, like I assume people understand that when George Clooney says Nespresso, like what else or something, I'm pretty sure he's like not drinking Nespresso every day, like, or maybe he is, but we don't really care if he is or not. So even like the concept of advertising is something that relies on the customer understanding that the person is not necessarily like expressing the true beliefs that he had and that he was paid to do that. So there is nothing new here, is what I meant with AI. The only difference is like the way we produce the ad is much more efficient. Now, instead of like having to shoot a video with George Clooney and having them to be in a room, or even with like non-famous actors, it's just much faster. Now you can do it from a computer, and when you have an idea as the producer of the ad, you can just make it happen from your computer. So that's my initial thoughts regarding brands. I would be super curious to have your thoughts as well. But and also on the brands that don't want to use AI for production, I would ask, like, do you guys use like VFX? Like, do you use visual effects for your ads, or do you like only post like purely raw content without any compute involved? Probably not. So yeah, I think like the customers are not foolish. They understand that what they see in an ad is not necessarily the reality, but they are okay with it, and they would rather engage with an ad that is engaging and that was like tailored to them than like a raw content that might be a little bit more authentic, but might just not be as engaging.
For sure. For sure.
So yeah, those will be my thoughts for brands, but would love to hear yours as well.
Yeah, on the brand end, and I definitely want to get to the content creator side too. But on the brand side, the way that I've been thinking about it is just the idea of like a buyer journey, right? Where someone is like problem unaware. Now they are problem aware. Now they are solution aware. Now they're product aware, and they continue down that journey. And the overhanging piece on that journey for me is the goal. So when I'm talking to brands who have an initial resistance to the conversation, I kind of just go like, hold on a second. Like, what do we want to achieve here, right? Like, is it new customer acquisition? Like, is that the main goal, like starting place? And then usually what happens is this. And then as soon as I see that, it's like, okay. So you're telling me new customer acquisition, and then you're telling me paid social is the biggest channel to do that, right? And it's like, great. And to make great creative or to succeed on paid social, you need a combination of volume and quality, that right balance, right? And then finally, it's like, how are you going to get that? Like, think about the production speed and the cost and the time that goes into that. Everything is worth a test, of course. So it's like, how do we marry both worlds? Because I don't think I'm trying to fight the brands up front to be like, go all AI, but it's like, how do you go ahead and supplement or have that be the main piece and supplement with production on top? Because if the goal is new customer acquisition, you should be coming up with new ideas all the time, like you had mentioned. And that's how you can go about it with AI along the way. So that's my opinion. And then that seems to resonate with brands because I notice the ones that have the most friction are usually not really aware and like centralized on their goal and having to bring them back to that the conversation is how I see it though.
Super interesting. Yeah, it comes down to being aligned on what's the goal. And obviously, there are some regulations. You cannot have AI say
Yeah.
anything. And this is the same regulation for real actors, by the way. The FTC guidelines are you can't have people say they have tried a product and love the product if they actually haven't tried it. And in most cases, like that applies to traditional UGCs, and that also applies to AI UGC because obviously an AI UGC cannot have tried the product.
We're definitely assuming that we're following laws. Like that's the assumption across the board. So do not act unlawfully, please. We are not lawyers, but we do not act unlawfully. But I do really feel like if the brand wants to make money, you got to be open to what's going to do that for you. So it's just like, how do you go ahead and test all those different pieces out? So
yeah. Tomorrow everything is going to be AI. So if you don't do it, then you're going to be just so much slower to produce content.
So this is an interesting segue into the content creator side of things. Now, I also have like some fairly strong opinions here, but would be curious to know what you think about how content creators should feel in all of this.
Yeah, I think for certain type of content, AI is going to be the only kind of content we consume. And even like the content creators will go from actually recording themselves to being able to master these tools. So that's to me, there is no doubt about that. For some other kind of content, like for example, the content we are doing right now. So obviously you have experience in performance marketing. I have experience in performance marketing. So the listeners will be much more willing to engage, I think, with real people because of the social proof they have and the experience that they have, which by default an AI doesn't have. So for educational content where you need to have some sort of expertise, I still believe that people will consume real people content. But for example, for entertainment, and we already have seen it with VO3 style vlog videos where people like do those funny blog posts with a grandma is jumping into the water. I don't know if you have seen that, but pure entertainment. You don't really care who is the person in front of you in most cases. So I think pure entertainment is going to be fully replaced by AI. Advertising is going to be fully replaced by AI as well, except from maybe some endorsement with very like top celebrities. But education is still the kind of content where it might make sense to have someone with experience.
That's a really good point. I think the one exception that's always brought up into my mind is like, it depends on what your offer is. So if you're trying to get like hospital appointments for something specific there, maybe that's when like a human touch is needed. Cause I think it like hovers on the border of like edu entertainment at that point. So it's like, how does a human bridge that gap? But on my end, you talked about how a creator could jump in here and master this. And I think that's the exact way that I'm thinking about this. Because with AI, the entire narrative at this point is like, it's not going to replace you. It's like, you need to master this and it becomes a tool for you. And the way that I think about a content creator right now, if you're someone who is just accepting a brief and just like executing, purely that's it, right? That's a little bit scary of a position to be in. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I feel like that would be a scary position to be in. But the idea is you can jump up levels of abstraction. So it's like, okay, I'm not just accepting this brief, shooting it and sending it off. It's like, I'm contributing to the brief. We should actually shoot it this way. We should bring in these types of people and almost directing and strategizing at that point, which sets them up perfectly to jump into a platform like Arcads without having to build up their own roster over 6 months or something. It's like they can go to the strategist level almost immediately. So I feel like we're on the same page there when we talk about level of abstraction that these people can start to obtain.
Yeah, I love this idea. One of the bottlenecks we have noticed with marketing teams is often people tend to come up with similar ideas. So one person can have a lot of ideas, but all of these ideas will be similar in a way. So one of the advantages of outsourcing production to creators is obviously you will have access to their face and they will be making content in a different way, but also you will have access to their brain and they will make different ideas for you. They will produce different ideas. And in the world of AI, they will have access to unlimited faces, the creators, but their brain can't be replaced. So just the idea of like asking a creator to do a video for you and having them using AI is something that is very compelling, because now you can be like benefit from the creativity of multiple people instead of just one.
This is kind of random, but let me know if you've already thought of this, but it just comes to mind for me because I've been thinking about internally at Motion, and we've been thinking about it for the past like 4 years at this point, but like a creative strategy certification program. In your world, there's some version of like a content creator like certification, like all these people who could level up and be able to use your platform to really solve that problem you're talking about, who can then go out into the world. So I feel like these people who might be afraid are the ultimate distribution channel in a weird way, right?
Love the idea. Yeah, it's very, very smart. And
Yeah.
actually, we are already doing it in some cases. Some like top creators are talking about arcades, and we use them as a way to come up with new ideas for how we talk about arcades. So yeah, 100%.
You're crushing it, man. So we're talking now, and you started hitting this curve. Like you're taking off, got a small team that's absolutely crushing, but there must be headaches along the way. There must be. If not, I'm so curious. But talk me through it. Like what has been the biggest struggle with building the company, and how'd you push past it?
So I think the biggest struggle you face when you have a company is finding the balance between executing and like actually doing things and thinking, because it's very easy to spend all of your time brainstorming the future ideas of the company, or it's very easy to go the opposite way and just not think about it at all and just like optimize things. Humans are very good optimizators. So give me one thing and I will like optimize the shit out of it. And humans are like that. So you could be spending a lot of time optimizing the wrong things sometimes. And I feel like finding the balance between those two different modes, like the optimization mode, like taking action mode, like this mode where you just don't think too much and just like improve, communicate about your product and like onboard new people in the product. And this mode where you take a step back and think about like what should be the vision of the company, what should be the strategy, and making sure that you don't spend too much time in either or the other one of these modes is the hardest thing you can face in any kind of company building situation.
How do you try to strike that balance?
It's hard. I haven't found yet the solution. I think one good way to do that is some people are better at some things. So I think I'm better at just doing. I'm not like very good at like brainstorming and stuff like that. I'm better at like taking action and like actually doing stuff. But some other people are better at like thinking. And I think my co-founder Dylan is also very much like me. Like we are two co-founders, and it's funny because like the ideal situation will be one will be like very much the thinker, the other one will be the doer. But it's not like really the case. We are like really both like kind of have a bias for action. But for example, in some recent hires that we made in the company, we hired people who are much more like careful and like take much more time into like thinking about like are we doing the right things, and that's probably how you find balance, like by having the right people around you.
It's such a good call out because I've also been thinking about a similar thing, right? Because it's like I was initially going to ask you what percentage of your time do you spend on execution versus thinking, but I don't actually believe that it is the same at any given point. Like it changes all the time. And something that I'm curious to get your feedback on, in all honesty, is the way that I've described even my approach is I'm quite a brute force person. Just start the process. Once you start it and you get it done, you will learn things and adjust. Now, it could be considered an optimization, but I think about it as like once you brute force, we are smart enough to then identify what the hell went wrong and where are the opportunities. And that's my like quick thinking, and then adjust and go down that route. Would you see it similarly, or do you put thinking into an even higher level of abstraction?
Oh, that's a great point. I actually heard an interview from the CEO of Coinbase recently, and he basically said the exact same thing that you just said, but in a different way. He said, action creates information. And I really loved this approach where you, as you said, you will brute force, take action, and then your brain will be working in the back end and kind of be thinking about like what's like a better way to do things. So yeah, I would say defaulting to action is probably a better mode than defaulting to thinking, and using the breaks between those moments of actions to let your brain think, like go on a walk when like
Yeah.
spend the whole day working hard, executing, and don't spend your like actual office hours time thinking. But then when you go back from the office or when you go on a walk, just think about what can be optimized, or maybe when you dream. So yeah, I think that's there is something true about that.
I love it. You've been so generous with your time. I have one final question for you. You actually already gave me a quote, but I tend to ask all of our guests. And if you don't have one immediately, throw it back to me. I can jump in first. But do you have a favorite quote? And if so, why is this your favorite quote?
I think I have one. I might butcher it a little bit, but it was something. Let me chat GPT the exact quote.
Perfect. Perfect.
What
This is what I'm talking about.
is-
AI native, nice and quick. Get what you need.
Exactly. What is quote about success? So I'll give you the exact quote in a second. And I can't even remember who the quote was from. But yeah, that's the thing. ChatGPT will do that for us, which is kind of scary in a way because right, like we are kind of outsourcing memory to a robot. But yeah, I think when we have like ChatGPT directly baked into our brains, it's gonna be super efficient. So success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. And it's Winston Churchill. And yeah, let me just share the ChatGPT conversation. So it's Churchill. And basically, I love this idea that to succeed, you need to fail a lot of times, but you need to stay motivated. And like every single time I have a new failure, I see this as like, okay, that's a new proof that I'm going to the right path, because if I'm not failing, then I'm not progressing. So yeah.
You know what is so funny? So I had Reza on here last Thursday. Same quote.
No.
Swear. Founder
Wow.
mode, man.
This is crazy. I mean, I swear I didn't like watch the last episode, and I actually I'm a very good friend with Reza. He's like I love him. He's really super nice guy, and so yeah, super happy to see that. I recommend the movie about Churchill. I learned it from the movie. At the end of the movie, they basically quote Churchill, and that's how I learned about it. So definitely would recommend this movie.
Huge. Everybody check it out. Last thing, if there's anything you wanted to leave with the audience, what would it be?
Just go to work ads, start making your own ads, start using AI. Honestly, you just use AI overall to make ads, even if like it might feel scary. That this is definitely the future. Start playing with it and take action, and then think.
I love it. If I'm so real, I want to jump in and try and recreate myself. Like I just want to see how it goes. Feed it all the different content from YouTube and all the different pieces, and then I have
Yeah,
an AI
100% we
version of
should do that.
myself.
we'll do it. We'll do it. Actually, there is my avatar as well in the platform. You can already check it out.
I love it. I love
But
it.
let's create yours for your account and for your account
That's
only.
incredible. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're the
Thank you,
best.
man.
I appreciate it, man. Sincerely appreciate the time. Everyone check him out on Twitter. Check out Arcads. You know what to do. But you've been incredible, man. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Later. Oh man, everybody, this is incredible. There's always this awkward moment, so don't feel worried about it. Like when you're trying to jump out.
Yeah. Should I just like jump out for you?
Yeah. You're good to go. You're good to go. Appreciate
Okay,
you, man.
guys.
Yeah.
Great. Bye-bye.
Yeah, everybody. I was so excited to have Romain on because again, I've been in rooms recently where there has been some apprehension towards the AI avatars. And I completely understand why. Like even Romain himself like mentioned, in the future, a lot of things are going to be AI. And that's just a self-recognized statement that it's not all the way there yet. There are things that need to be improved. But the conversation we had around like how brands, content creators can think about it, I believe to be the right one. Like if we are not just afraid of it, but thinking about how we can utilize it, it's so important. So just to repeat that part, because like, again, he gave us the keys on how you can make these ads and start he gave us the keys on how you can start making these ads and print a ton of money. Like your brand can do this tomorrow, right? But if you are working at a brand and there is some apprehension from the team on wanting to do this, like I said earlier, step number one is align on goals. If the goal is new customer acquisition, like we know it is for most DTC e-com brands, ultimately what we want to do is we want to use paid social to help get us to our new acquisition goals efficiently. So in that case, that means we need amazing creative. And to make amazing creative, you need a combination of data, volume, and quality. And I think ArcAds presents a really unique solution to be able to help out with that process. So I'm excited for everyone to try and give it a try. And then the other side of it for me is the content creator end, right? Because like as a content creator, it's scary. Like there's this entire creator economy that's been built that could potentially be disrupted. But something that I truly believe are the levels of abstraction that I've referenced multiple times. So what I mean by that is on the content creation end, if you're in a spot right now where you are receiving a brief and you are just shooting exactly what you were asked, and you're essentially just like, let's call it an actor or the talent at that point, then it's something where it could be a bit risky. I think the right next step in this is being able to think more strategically and jump levels of abstraction. So what that means is instead of just receiving the briefs and executing against what you're told, it's starting to say, okay, what does this brand really care about? That means what is the persona that's bought the most from them? What are the ads that are already working for them? Who are the competitors in the space that we need to keep an eye on? Because that allows you to determine what the creative should actually look like. And you're just not making it and shooting it at that point. Because once you have the information needed to be able to build a strategic opinion on what you should be doing, that's when you can start to do things like I've seen other content creators do, build their own creator agencies. Because once you have a creator agency, you can start to work with multiple brands, send multiple creators business. And one of the cool things about ArcAds is it gives you, in a way, it gives you an army of creators immediately for you to jump levels of abstraction to now be an agency owner and a UGC creator at the same time. So I know it can be frightening. Like I don't want to dismiss any of that. Like the human emotion is a real thing. I completely get it. But I am trying to think of how we play nicely with this since we know it to be the future. So I'm rooting for everybody. I'm definitely rooting for everybody. But there are things that we'll need to figure out, right? So a super interesting conversation. I feel like whenever I see Romain talk, it's mainly about just going through how to use ArcAds and how to make ads. But getting a peek into these people's brains and how they operate day to day is honestly a blessing on my end. Like he's built a company that has 7 people and has made $7 million annually. You know how freaking impressive that is? That's so impressive. So to be able to hear some of the way that he approaches day to day, it's like, how do we balance execution? How do we balance strategy? Like that's something that I'm sure everyone here faces. Earlier in my career, what I used to say all the time to people who would ask where they can help me, I'd be like, help me think. I'm so caught up in the doing. I have so much to do in my day-to-day. Help me think. But what I've learned over time is to embrace my own process. And my own process is like I'd mentioned earlier, brute force my way through and just start kicking it off and be super attentive to the points when I get enough data to course correct. I'm not just caught up day to day, foot over foot, like not thinking about anything. It's like, no, no, no. How do we go ahead? And it's like, I was on a call. What I said did not resonate at all. Oh man, next call I take, I got to adjust. And I spent a little bit of time thinking on that point. And then once you're doing that with every single one of your tasks, so whether it be individual tasks like a call, team tasks like working with your team and distributing the work, or org tasks in terms of, I don't know, strategic direction, you can go ahead and implement extremely quickly, but you're able to course correct because you're operating with intent to be able to then action on what you need to do next. So there's so many tricks that I think like Romain himself probably doesn't even realize that he executes on a day-to-day basis. It's just something he lives rather than thinks about all the time, which has led to the starting of such a successful company on his route. Awesome, everybody. I am curious to know what everyone thinks about that one because it can be one of those topics that everyone talks about, but I am curious to know what everyone's thinking about, okay? Awesome. So something that Romain had alluded to on the call was the idea of agents within motion. It's like, oh yeah, there's agents within motion. There are agents that we can help go scrape different ad libraries for. And I just wanted to give people a peek into what that actually means. So if I go ahead and share my screen, I'll give you a quick sneak peek into how this comes to life, okay? Fantastic. All right. So here I'm in motion. There's so much more that I'm not going to talk about today, but I just want to bump off of what Romain was talking about. So in this world, he had described how he has an internal agent that will go ahead and scrape ad libraries that he's identified that he likes, whether it's competitor or just inspiration based. And then at that point, it's scraping through to understand which ads are working well, what they should do next, how they can script, and the look and feel. And this is Motion's variation of it. So if I jump into a page like Hexclads, I can start to see things like the media mix breakdown, the landing pages that they're driving to, and then I can see the exact creative like we see down here. And we can see a bunch of Spanish ads have been launched. That's awesome. Had Max on the show on Tuesday, I believe, and he talked about the importance of launching Spanish ads, especially if you're based out of the United States. So this is pretty cool to see, like the timing, at least. So this is an example of, okay, we might appreciate Hexclad. That's a brand that we aspire to be from a look and feel standpoint, and something about their scripting is incredible. Now, an example of what we can do within Motion here is that you can see that you can actually run these AI tasks on the different accounts. So in this case, Hexclad. So it's literally like spot gaps and opportunities based on this brand and how I can apply it to my brand. Tell me what this brand is testing right now, and I can determine if I want to do anything with that. Give me new hook ideas based off of this brand. It's like fantastic. I can go ahead and do my thing. So being able to run all of these different tasks, we'll let them load up in the background, of course, will give you a head start based off of either your competitors, your inspirations, context in their ad accounts, okay? Now, while those are loading up, hopefully don't completely fail on me here. I wanted to give a little bit more insight into like the actual ad libraries themselves and how you can start to dive in here. So in addition to running those high level tasks that we had all looked at together there, what you can actually do is you can build out Pinterest style boards except for your paid ads. So what that means is you're not limited to just selecting those like Hexclad only and these individual tasks. We can actually look at any brand we want starting from our feed here. So you can search up any brand you want, or you can see ones that I've, for example, already populated into my feed. So I can see that Pangea. Did I say that right? Ah, man, the brand's going to come for me. Don't come for me. I like your shirts. They look really nice. but the idea is we can see what they've launched recently, and you can see Loop here as well. So I can dive into these brand pages and therefore be served a similar page to what I just shown you all, so you can run similar tasks at this point. Okay, everybody? Fantastic. Now, what I like about this is that you're able to then say, and I don't know if this is a similar experience across the board. If you dive into Motion, let me know, and then we can check it out together. But you're actually able to build out these boards, and these boards can be used. Again, we have to double check if this is available to everybody. I think it might just be task led at this time. But these specific boards used to be able to be shared with any and everybody that you'd like. So you can literally go ahead and copy this link and share it out as you see fit. So it's nice and easy. Now, to be able to run those different tasks, what the cool part of this is that, and I'll go to a different tab really quickly just to check out the progress of these tasks. Awesome. So what the cool part of all of this stuff is like when you're in Motion and you're starting to get set up here, you don't actually need access to an ad account. So these are all of the competitors in the space, and you wouldn't need to sync up your own ad account because number one, you might not have access. Number two, you might not want to give us access. Or number three, you're working with clients where you then need their permission to be able to set this up. So those three steps make it challenging. But the really good thing is if you were to follow this flow when you're jumping into Motion, you're actually going to be able to just see all of the creative, like I'm seeing here, all the different ad libraries, and then run the different tasks that I had shown you all. Okay. Fantastic, everybody. So I think I'm running into a little bit of an issue on getting these ones to load. So you can see I have them at 100%, but it's still taking a bit of time. But I guess where I can start to give you some additional context into all of this is that when I spoke about running those tasks, it was as it relates to the research end. So again, going back to this Pinterest style experience, how can you go ahead and actually run tasks on a specific brand? But the other end of the spectrum is actually looking at your data to run these tasks. So what I mean there is I might actually pop into my own account. And then from this point, you can see how I get a lot more options or many more options with the types of tasks that I can run. So I can literally say, based on this creative here, I would like new hook ideas, please. I actually want Jess to critique my messaging, please. I want Barry to let me know a new idea I can shoot in 15 minutes. So these are all starting points of what to do next. And how this actually ties into the conversation I was just having with Romain is that he was talking about how a lot of brands struggle to come up with a variation of ideas. So it's not that they can't come up with ideas, it's just the variety of ideas is quite limited. So he was mentioning how when you're confined to one individual brain, what ends up happening is you're like, okay, I have 50 ideas, but damn, they're all really talking about the same thing. They're just presented in a little bit of a different way. Now, what's so cool about the tasks that we're presenting here in this case is that we're actually leveraging the minds of many different folks. Like you can see Jimmy and Alex here. I don't know how many people are tied into their course, but you know their course is booming. You can see that we have Morella Crespi, Barry Hott, Dara Denny, Jess Bachman. We got the squad over at Llama Marketing who is Paramel and Nima. We got a bunch of people here that you can leverage their brains to get a variety of creative insights and ideas along the way. Okay. So why don't we go ahead and check out some of these? So if we remember, I was just looking at Hexclad and I've now run a task that is called spot gaps and opportunities based off of this brand. So when we look at this, what we can start to see here is us versus them. Ooh, that's fire. Here's a side-by-side of what they're doing. So now all of a sudden, just based off of Hexclad's account, who is either my competitor or my inspiration, I have a ton of new freaking ideas that I can try. And the really cool thing is you can probably do two things here, or one of two things here. The first thing that you can do is you can share this like a link. So I literally have this and I can share with my creative team and be like, creative team, I want to try every single one of these ideas, please. Let it rip. Nice and easy. But here's the thing. Another world that you might operate within is that you actually don't like the entire presentation of all this information. It's like, well, I'm missing a little bit of context. I want to tell it about my brand. I want to tell it what we have going on. So when you're interacting with all of these different tasks from all of the individuals in our space, the really cool thing that you can do is that you can share this with ChatGPT. So I'm literally getting a markdown file that's not just a copy and paste of what you see here, but it's actually a markdown file that includes additional context of things like which creative we looked at, how to prompt ChatGPT in the best way. So if I copy and paste this, and then let's say that I jump into GPT myself really quickly, and I'll pull this one over. What I can actually do here is you can see that I copy and paste it and throw it in, right? So once I throw it in here and give it the context, I can start to chat with it back and forth. So I can come to the place of understanding, hey, now you know more about my brand. And all of a sudden I'm brief ready. So after I've gone through and I've prompted ChatGPT in the best way possible, I can add my additional brand context. For example, brand context. And then on top of that, I can say format this like my briefs. And once you do this, you genuinely have a brief ready objective. So this is where it starts to become super helpful to tie the entire story together. Okay, everybody? Fantastic. Now, you're not just limited to those 3 that I had shown. You can see all of the different tasks that have been started to run. So I can literally say, all right, based on Hexclad again, I ran the task that's called tell me what this brand is testing right now. And I can ultimately see here, what are they actually testing to determine if I want to be able to do stuff like this. And from a workflow perspective, like I showed you before, we are set up for success, y'all. So you can either go ahead and share this with whoever you'd like, or you can easily get the drop down again here to copy straight into ChatGPT to start to engage with it so you can land on your final brief. So there's so many things that you can start to do that make this a seamless experience from start to finish, okay? Amazing, everybody. Now, the last thing that I'm going to show as it relates to tasks here is we've only been speaking about the world as it relates to competitor research. So the inspiration and the competitor side of things. But like I'd shown a little bit earlier, the workflow that I actually had chosen to follow there is I was actually starting to say, okay, I want to try these different agents out, not only on competitors or brands I aspire to be, but I want to run them on my own data. So the awesome thing here, for example, I've done is I've actually leveraged Jess's brain to then say, can you please critique this ad's messaging so I can determine what to do next? So like Romain said earlier, in the spirit of trying to come up with new diversified ideas, here's where you're able to get some of them. So you're literally seeing critique and analyze, recommended next steps, all of the different steps we need to do. And then once you're served this, guess what? I don't let you down. I set you up for success. So that means what you can do here is you can share this again as a brief to whoever you need to, or like I'd mentioned earlier, get that markdown file and copy and paste it straight into ChatGPT so you can give it the context that you want. So if I pop back over to chat really quickly, let's take a look at what this looks like. You can see here all of the different details. So we're not just simply copy and pasting the report that you had seen that I'd shown you within Motion. What we're doing is providing so much more context in a way that ChatGPT can understand it. So that means that we're doing things like providing, of course, the core frameworks and analyses that we had done, but we're also giving a summary of what the creative is saying, because we know that it's hard for ChatGPT to read the existing video or the existing static. So instead, we give it a summary of everything that we've seen so you can interact with it in the best way possible. Okay, folks? Awesome. That's super cool. That is super cool. All right. I'm going to go ahead at this point and do my thing. Now, you might be asking, what does do my thing mean? So if you've been tuning into ThumbstopLive, as a quick reminder, we are live every Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. You know I got to pull up the Twitter. This is nothing if I don't pull up the Twitter here. So like I said, We are live every Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern, streaming across so many different platforms, including X, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Be sure to tap in at ThumbstopLive on Twitter if you want to stay up to date on the latest and greatest. Now, when I say I'm doing my thing now, that means in between guests, I do this thing where I use my stand-up desk and I start to stretch. I got to bring myself back to life, y'all. And what do I always do for those who have been tapping in? I encourage you to do the same with me. So if you can, everybody, let's get to standing, let's get to stretching, and let's get to good health. Awesome, y'all. Okay. I was talking to the team just about like outfits. I definitely like fashion. That is something that I will start to talk about a lot more as you see these sessions go on. But I'm going to run out of outfits. So I'm going to start putting on some different brands, especially some of my friends' brands who have different clothing. I'm going to start showcasing some of the stuff they have going on. I'm also going to start to tap into some of our client base, some of the brands we know and love, to start rating some of the pieces just to see how it looks. So if anybody has any favorites, let me know in the chat, and definitely something that I want to incorporate into the overall experience. Okay. Fantastic, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and hit Taylor up just to see where she's at. And it's perfect timing, because what we were able to do in our first session today is we were able to go with Romain through ArcAds and talk about AI avatars and AI ads, because he is helping brands freaking print, y'all. And he stepped through steps, I want to say like 1 to 5, on how to make sure that happens. But some of that conversation that I really appreciated more than anything was his perspective on the controversy that AI avatars can create. So we dove into how brands could think about it, how content creators could think about it, how everybody can think about it at the end of the day. And for this next portion of our conversation, I am super excited to welcome someone I deeply respect to the stage. I guess we've known each other for the past maybe 3.5 years now. Jeez, time flies. I don't even know at this point. But without further ado, I would love to welcome Taylor to the stage if she's ready. Hopefully. Let's see how it goes. Mic check, mic check. We might have some technical difficulties popping up, y'all. We might have some technical difficulties popping up. Okay, I'm gonna put Taylor backstage real quick and give her a chance to sort out the camera and the audio side of things. But Taylor has been rocking with us since the beginning, almost at this point, like super involved early on. She's seen us when we were a team of like 8 people and had all of the different advice. And she's so well connected in her career. She's not only on the venture side, but she comes from the operator side of things, where she lived and breathed this work. So it's not often that you tie it together, and it's not just like the intellectual portion that you're getting from the VC side of things, but Taylor's actually lived this life. I don't want to share her entire story, of course. She got to share that for us. But there's so many different things that she's done that has informed her investment strategy these days. Okay, we're going to bring her up here. I think we're still running into issues, and you're going to see my name is Tech Support Evan. Hey, how's it going? How can I help you? And figure out how to do this together. Oh, she popped out. Okay, Taylor, I'm going to bring you up, and then we'll figure this out together. And this is the beauty of a stream. Okay, I hope you can hear me. I don't know how to confirm if you can't, but there are these buttons at the bottom of the screen that are like your mic and your camera one, where you just switch which one to use. It breaks for me all the time, which I don't love, but I'm hoping it fixes for you. But if not, it's all good. It's all good. We will push through. Okay, didn't work. I'm going to call her really quickly, and so you all can hear. Yo, hello. I have you on speaker right now, so the stream can hear you at the same time.
Incredible. I'm rejoining. I keep getting oops, connection lost.
Oh no.
Which makes no sense.
Oh no.
So I'm back on. You can't see me yet?
I see you back, but I can't see your camera or anything. When I bring you on stage, can you see me and hear me?
No.
No, huh? Like I'm gonna do it now as a test. Can you see and hear me at this point?
No, I just see it says Evan Lee, and then it's I can see your name, and then there's just nothing else.
Oh, that's so brutal. I can try resending you the link if that
Yes,
works.
send me one more time.
Okay, see if a separate link actually works. But other than that, I'm not great at this technical support stuff. I need AI to help me out. I think it's like restart your computer, please. It's like one of those ones.
Hold on. I can quit everything and start over. I'm actually like, I'll try it. Hold on. I'm gonna concurrently grab a second device.
Hey, there we go. Look at this problem solving on the fly, everybody. I just resent the link on email, but let me know. It's probably something else. In all honesty,
I can't let you down.
I appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna go entertain the people a little bit, and then I will see you on there. Okay.
I'll see you soon.
All right. See ya. Bye. All right, everybody. This is my attempt at streaming, by the way. Like, see how I did the little speaker so you all can hear what's going on? Trying that out. I still haven't found a way to incorporate this well, but here's an example of how I'm feeling now that Taylor's struggling with the technical side of things. I haven't figured out a good way to incorporate my sound effects yet. Like I feel like I need a tutorial from someone who knows how to stream really well to start to incorporate it because I'm just missing out. I have so many cool ones. Like listen to this one, everybody. Ready? Welcome to ThumbstopLive. We are live every Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. We're streaming across all the platforms that you know and love. That includes X, LinkedIn, YouTube Live, and Instagram. We bring some of the voices that you know and love from our industry, and we're so excited to not only have them talk about the operations and tactics of their day-to-days, but also a journey and peek behind the curtain of how they think and operate. Welcome. Come on, y'all. Tell me that's not sick. I feel like those sound effects and how they come together make it for me, and I'm just trying to have more of that happen. Okay, so we got Taylor on the back end. Let's see if it's working. Not working. So that means everybody, I've already told you how it's time to stand up, get your stretching in. You know how important that is. But on top of that, what I'm also recommending is you go get yourself a protein smoothie. I've had a protein smoothie every single one of these. How do you think I keep my energy up? This is how. I go with the vegan protein. I got my creatine on deck. I got everything you need to make sure I'm good to go. Awesome, everybody. So we're still working through some of the technical issues. So I think this is probably a good time for me to jump back into what I was showing you a little bit earlier of how you can leverage other people's brains to take their ideas and then implement them into your own ad accounts. So I'll go back to sharing my screen real quick. Perfect. So for those of you who are just tuning in now, what I wanted to highlight here is that I was having a conversation with the CEO and founder of ArcAds or co-founder of ArcAds, Romain, a little bit earlier. And he was talking about how one of the things that brands really struggled with was the idea of being able to create multiple ads, of course, but more importantly, come up with a diverse variety of ideas to create. What he had found was that when it was a single person at a brand, they might come up with, let's say, 50 ideas. But those 50 ideas actually only serviced a couple concept or maybe one persona. So what he identified as important is the idea of being able to create and get multiple perspectives to generate a diverse range of ideas that you can execute upon. And what I've been talking about up until this point is basically being able to tap into different brains along the way to get and source those ideas. So here's where you can see that we're leveraging brains from Jimmy and Alex for the people who are taking their course, from Llama Marketer, who includes Nima from Paramill, UGC Buddy, Kelly Rockland and Shane Murphy, Marella Crespi, she's on the show next week, Barry Hott, he was on the show last week, Jess Bachman, he's on the show in 2 weeks, Dara Denny, she was on last week. So all of these different brains to be able to get the perspectives you need to ultimately crush it. So why this is super cool is because to leverage their brains, it's not just limited to what we had called our creative research side of things. So meaning the inspiration from accounts. It's actually as it relates to, it's actually how it relates to the creative end of things in your own account and when you're spending money behind those creatives. So you can see here how I have all these different options I can actually run to be able to pick what type of task that I want to do. So do I want a new idea? Do I want an analysis? What's going on? And like we spoke about earlier, we're in the spirit now of coming up with new ideas. So here's where I'll isolate to new ideas and I can pick from the different brains to be able to spit all that good stuff out. So for the sake of this one, I'm going to go ahead and take Barry, and Barry in the background is going to look at this ad, which is my best performing ad based on the data, and actually be able to spit out a new idea that we can shoot in 15 minutes. So let me get my phone, hit them angles to be able to do exactly what I need to do. I don't know if everyone can tell who's tuning in, but I tend to drop a lot of like hip hop, R&B, and rap references into what I say. So if you hear me say one, it's like a game. It's like how many times per show does Evan actually do that? Because if we can, I should run a contest. Like someone gets free motion for like 58 days or something like that. So we'll run that one. We'll spark some wild ideas. So we'll run these in the background. I think Taylor still might be having a couple issues on the technical end, but it's okay. Everybody, we roll with the punches. We roll with the punches. We're figuring things out over here. You all have been absolutely incredible tuning into Thumbstop Live every Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern across many of the channels that you know and love, including LinkedIn, X, YouTube, and Instagram. Okay. As we give these ones a second, something else that I've found to be pretty cool is that I've started posting on TikTok. So I'm just so interested to see how it goes. And honestly, I probably need some advice. So here's where you can see I've actually gone ahead and created a Thumbstop Live clips page on TikTok. So I'm out there on TikTok, right? And I'm going ahead and posting some of these clips. And the goal is just to make sure, because people are talking about such cool things, just making it so easy for people to get these bite-sized insights. So what that means is, if I click into one of
spend a lot of
these,
time, unsurprisingly, looking at like organic content. I need to know what type of content.
you can get these insights from the conversations that I had with Barry and Dara, for example. So like I was talking about across all our channels, we are posting clips. This is an example of how that's coming to life. And you see the same thing happening on the Thumbstop page as well. Okay. So on the Thumbstop page, you can see here all the different clips that are coming to life. And then specifically for me, I'm also posting a ton of this stuff. So if you are interested, connect with your boy at Evan MK Lee. No one's going to figure out what the MK stands for, but you see, I'm not a rapper though. I'm not a rapper, but you can see here how we have all the different variations coming to live too. And we got so many people who are tapped in. We had Joelle yesterday, Sarah Levenger's coming on Monday. Got the whole squad coming through. Awesome, y'all. So I'll pop back into motion now because we gave those tasks a chance to come to life. And on the task end, what you're now noticing is like I said, what we're looking for is brainstorming new ideas and tapping into different brains. And I've gone ahead and ran a motion task and I've ran a very hot task. So on the very hot side of things, let's pop that one open. You can start to see here how on the berry side of things, all of a sudden, based on this creative, I have a net new idea. So again, a diverse range of ideas is what we are shooting for. So now what you are able to see is literally what's going on across the board in terms of, okay, what is the core theme we're trying to do? What questions should I answer? So it's literally like if I got my phone, like you hit them angles, with your phone out. What was your breaking point before you handed off marketing grind to AI? And then I jump in with my own variation. And you can see all the suggested settings. You can see the different B-roll shots, but so many pieces that I can leverage here to literally go shoot that creative now. And if I'm not completely happy with this and I want to interact with it more, AKA give more context or refine some of the ideas, what that starts to mean is I actually want to go ahead and share this with ChatGPT. So I get that markdown file that does many things, not just outlining what you see here, but it actually describes the creative and what we're seeing. Okay. One of the things I want to try to do here is like make sure to help Taylor try to get the connection all good. On my phone, it doesn't say lost connection, but haven't joined. I think one of the interesting pieces is I'm going to give her a call again. And then I might use ChatGPT. So you all see the AI native version going on here. But let's do this. Hello, hello.
Hello. What's up?
Okay, so if I add you now, can you hear and see me? Nope.
No.
Nope. Okay, I
Can
gotta.
you see me?
I can see you like behind stage, and then when I bring you on, I also see you, but it's just a black screen, and then
I
nothing's
see the
going
same for
on.
you.
It's the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, I see black screen for you.
Okay,
Bummer.
yeah, this might not be it. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT one time. So
I can come back next week.
amazing. That's good then. I feel like that's a win. But let me give ChatGPT a one try here because I've been talking to everybody on stream of how we are going to be AI native together.
Yeah.
So
Of course.
okay, we are using Restream, but a guest is running to an error with black screen. Let's see what it says. Here are the most reason why. Browser compatibility. Using Chrome?
I'm using Chrome. Should I
Yeah.
swap?
No, it says Chrome or Firefox, so Chrome would probably work. Unless does your browser need to be updated? All good?
Yeah, well, I did it on my phone and my it should be different.
Okay. Yeah, this is not helpful at all, honestly. It says camera and mic permissions, restart camera access, close conflicting apps, disable virtual backgrounds. But like if you can't even get the camera on, then I don't think that matters. Device restart.
I did that.
Yeah. We're donezo then. We're donezo.
Okay, I'm trying one more browser.
Okay.
And
Everybody, this is the commitment to the stream, okay? Like you see Taylor putting in the work. We're gonna get her up here one day.
we're gonna keep trying. We're gonna keep trying every week until it
We're
happens.
gonna try every week till it happens. And after we guys caught a contact Restream support, we're trying out Restream. So we'll see what's going on here.
Come on, Restream.
Come on, get with it, y'all.
This is your moment.
This is your moment to shine. Jeez. But we'll figure it out. All right, one last try. I don't think it's working though.
Third browser, if not, it's them.
It's
Not
them.
me.
It's them. It has to be.
Okay.
has to be.
I'll email Restream.
Okay. Well, I can just chat with them, but I think let's reschedule for next week so we can give the people what they want, and then we'll be good.
Sounds good.
All right. Appreciate you.
Later.
Thanks for trying.
Bye.
Later. All right, y'all. I think this is one of the cool things about Stream. Like, it's literally the BTS behind all of this. So usually what's happening is if we run an event, I'm on stage and then there's people in the background like frantically panicking, like, holy crap, we're screwed. Like, can't get anyone up here. But one of the cool things about like streaming that I was trying to achieve, and hopefully you all can tell, is being able for everything to be live. So you see it as it happens in real time. So we run into a technical difficulty issue. It's like, we got to solve it in real time. And it's like, guess what? We can't. It's like, damn, bruh. Can't do anything. So that's one of the cool things. But everybody, I feel like this has been super beneficial though. The Romain chat was super helpful, like in terms of like getting some additional context on how he views the world, but also some really tactical advice on how you can go ahead and create AI avatars. Tomorrow, what updates do I have? I have two updates. Number one is later this afternoon or later this morning, depending on where you are in the world. I'm speaking at an event that Fermat is hosting. So they're running one all about experimentation. And I'm going to be talking about the foundations of prompting. So how you can make sure your prompts are set up for success. And then outside of that, tomorrow on stream, we got a couple killers. We got Sanjay from Replo, my dog. And then we got Andrew Foxwell, creator of the Foxwell community, a group that's super tight knit and absolutely doing their thing. So there's going to be so many learnings that come from that one. But honestly, I'm just excited for the vibes. Those are two dudes that I deeply respect that I think will have great conversation. But everybody, this has been a great one. I sincerely appreciate the eyes and ears. If you haven't already, tell your friends and family to tap in. We are live every Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. Check us out on X at ThumbstopLive. And we are streaming across X, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. That's what's up, y'all. Appreciate it. We're going to see you tomorrow. Peace.